GPS Education Partners, and so on behalf of GPS, I want to thank you for attending today. Today we kick off the final weeks towards graduation. Almost 2 years coming to a close. While this is one small step of our seniors' journey, it's nonetheless very important. Seniors, you've worked hard. So embrace today, relax, take a deep breath, and you'll do great. I want to thank all of our partners that are here, our school partners, for seeing maybe a vision of what kids could do that's a little bit different than the traditional high school. For our business partners, thank you for opening up your spaces to provide training for our kids and parents. It's a big step to entrust them in something that looks a little bit different, but we thank you for allowing us to work with them and hopefully guide them, and I think you'll hear some pretty cool things today. So thank you. And I also want to recognize the skills coaches that are here, mentors. Without you, what we do would not be possible. The time that you take to work with our kids, to give them the training, but also to take an interest in them as individuals and guide them. And I don't think that maybe at times you realize the influence that you have over the lives of the students that come to us and then come to you. So thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to introduce Nate Jansky, who is one of our instructors here, and here you go.
Hello everybody, thank you for coming. I really appreciate the time that you're taking out of your day. The first thing I'd like to say, hey Carson, first thing I'd like to say is thanks to the students. Today, this year is my first year working with GPS, and I know it was kind of difficult transitioning from teacher to teacher, and they were very welcoming. It was a great experience, and I couldn't be happier with the group that I had. So I'm just going to point out a few things because I'm going to keep it brief so the students can get talking, because that's really why we're here. The reason I love working for GPS is just the one-on-one relationships that I formed with the students. I never got that teaching where I used to teach, and my favorite thing is just working one-on-one with them, and I got to know the students individually. Just a couple brief examples. Carson, I had no idea that he was interested in like medieval recreations. I would have never known that looking at him. So it's just these little things that I get to know about the students that are awesome. Chris McKay, the music he listens to is crazy. I've never heard anything like that. I probably won't listen to it after you leave, but thank you for introducing that to me. That is something else. And Jaden, I don't know where Jaden is, but I've learned that Jaden has a bigger vocabulary than myself and probably 5 other people combined in here. The words this kid uses, I have to look up in a dictionary to know what they mean. So just getting to know the students on a different level is fantastic. The classroom environment was great. I could joke around with them. The students actually brought me back to my college days, talking about playing Call of Duty. It made me want to get back into that. Unfortunately, I don't have time for that, but maybe in the future you guys throw me your gamer tags and I'll show you how it's done. So just again, thank you students and thank you parents for giving your students and your kids the opportunity to join the program. It was great working with them. I'm looking forward to graduation in a month. And now I'm going to introduce the first speaker of the day, which is Zach LaBundy.
Take your time.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no problem. All right, thank you all for coming. Almost 2 years ago today, I was introduced to the GPS program. Little did I know it would change my life. I got a note from my first hour teacher that day saying that the counselor wanted to speak with me. When that time came, I walked down to the conference room where 4 other classmates sat awaiting a presentation, so I joined them. The presentation was about the GPS program, where you get paid to go to school, as well as work 6 hours a day. Who wouldn't want that? I left that room thinking that thinking if this is what I really wanted. My name is Zach Labundi, and this is the time that I spent in GPS. I started at the end of August, just in time for junior year, but not a normal junior year. For the first few weeks, it took some time getting used to. New setting, new people, new knowledge, but I got the hang of it pretty quickly. I got my first job in the program shortly after I started. I was working at a company called Trossel, now known as Preferred Compounding. I learned a lot in these 6 months. I started in the chemistry lab, learning and testing a variety of rubber compounds. After about 2 months, I moved to the maintenance department and haven't looked back. I was learning a ton. I learned everything from molding and running a machine to welding and fabricating new machines. I tore apart machines, moved machines, and performed preventative maintenance of machines. It was great. I've got to know my coworkers really well as meeting many new people that have helped me to this day. There were only 2 of us in the maintenance department, a man named Steve and myself. We got along very well. Steve helped me get my feet into the manufacturing world, taught me the basics of maintenance, and walked through the various processes of manufacturing. As much as I enjoyed my time there, everything must come to an end. And in the month of March, about 8 months after I started, it was time to change companies. This brings me to my next chapter in the program. That part took up most of it. I was interviewed and took a job at Lavelle Industries very shortly after leaving Trossel's. This was about the time everything came to a screeching halt. I was placed on a production floor, packaging flappers and learning about the company. Although it was only a month, it felt like a year. By the time May showed up, I was a part of the maintenance department once again. This time with a whole new set of faces. Lavelle has a larger maintenance department to meet the manufacturing needs. There was about 8 of us in total, and it was never a slow time. I got along great with everyone, dug even deeper into the world of a maintenance man, and started off doing minor tasks that needed to be done. Projects like painting, anchoring, and cleaning, and so on took up most of my summer. By the time September rolled around, the college kids went back to college, and my duties got a little bigger, helping the guys with PMs, bigger projects or repairs on machines, as well as fabricating new equipment. As winter set in, the projects died down a little, and I got to know a guy named Jesse Swarton a little better. Jesse is not only the scheduler for the maintenance department, but also in charge of parts stock. He also became my boss when Supervisor Jim was not around. I learned a lot more in depth on how these machines are built and operated. This made a great time to observe what some of the common repairs were. My time at Lavelle was nothing short of amazing, so I learned more than what was available in traditional high school. Just as I surpassed the 1-year mark with Lavelle, things started to slow down and eventually came to an end. So at the end of March, I moved to a company I'm currently at as we speak. Allied Plastics is a whole new experience. They deal in plastic thermoforming, making items like fenders, hoods, and roofs for companies such as John Deere, Case, and Caterpillar. This time, I went right into the maintenance department. With all that being said, here we are today. It's been quite a roller coaster through the program, but definitely better than traditional high school. I've met a lot of great people through the journey that have put me into a great spot to enter the workforce on the right foot. After graduation, I'm still very open for now, but somewhere down the road in the near future, I would like to enter the railroad industry and become an engineer. Only time will tell what the future holds. Thank you. Our next speaker is Jake Schrem.
Hi, I'm Jake Stram. I am a senior from Muskego High School. In the 21 months of being in the GPS program, I have learned so much that I wouldn't be able to fit it in a speech. The most important skill I learned was reliability and attendance and willing to work hard for what you want. Because the workplaces I've been to, I've seen so many employees get let go with the lack of those two skills. I feel like this is a big part in the 21 months of the program that made me the person I am today. Without the experience, I would not have the work skills as I do today. At my first job placement in Aptar, I learned what it was like to work on the floor and operate CNC machines and learn basic maintenance. I eventually worked my way into machine breakdown and figured out that that is not what I want to do as a later career. As a GPS student, I learned to stick it out, whether you enjoy your job or not, because it can still be beneficial to learning new skills that can still benefit me later in life. When job rotations came around, I was told about another company, Eaton. After I got the word about that, I got excited about a new job and the experience I could get from this. I thought about how it could benefit me and possibly be a new doorway to a new skill or trade after employment. At my final rotation, I started at LDB. I started off running fuel lines and wiring harnesses through Snap-on vehicles and mobile command centers. I learned the basics of building a truck off of a blueprint and from the frame up. After the first week, I enjoyed working there a lot and came across my mind of getting hired on after graduation and becoming a part of the refurb crew or the gen crew. I love getting my hands dirty and having a lot of challenges with something new to do every day. With that being said, I would like to thank my trainer Sean and my supervisor Jimmy for showing me everything that there is to the job and skills you need to work there. Everything has taught me the best way to look at general mechanics and has cross-trained me through different areas to get certain jobs done. After the experience of working there, I would most likely certainly like to do this in my career path. I would also like to thank Dave Dahl, the president of Allis Roller, for supporting me through the Education Center. Without GPS, I would not have the success or the experience as I do today. So thank you. Our next speaker is Jaden Lee.
My name is Jaden Lee. I come from the Muskego Norway School District, and while I haven't spent as much time in this program as the other seniors here today, the skills and experiences that it has provided me in the last 9 months have proven invaluable. The short period of time I've spent in this program has done more to prepare me for real life than the entire 11 years I spent in public schools. This program has taught me that being punctual is very important. That hard work does pay off, and it has also shown me that a college diploma is not the only path that will lead me to money in life. Perhaps the most valuable thing that this program has brought to me is a direction for my future. The dream of being an electrician like my dad is no longer just a fickle thought by a child, but a real goal with which I have been working and preparing myself for. Equally valuable to me, this program has provided me with skills which I can use for the rest of my life to provide for myself and my future family. Taking these skills, these experiences, and these values that this program has instilled in me, I will pursue a 5-year electrical apprenticeship upon graduation. For all of this, I think it's due time for a couple thank yous. I would first and foremost like to thank my parents. I would first and foremost like to show appreciation for my parents who kicked my butt into gear to get me here and who provided me with the means to keep coming back. I would also like to thank my instructors, Nate and Trish, for providing me with guidance on the academic side of this program and helping me get my diploma. Last but not least, I would like to thank my mentors and coworkers at Zenar, Joe and Justin, who have helped me learn the technical concepts and skills which I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Thank you. I would like to introduce our next speaker, Anthony Lentini.
Hi, I'm Anthony Lentini. I'm a senior from Waterford Union High School. In the 21 months I have been in the program, I have learned so much more about myself and working in general. I've learned so much more in the program than I ever would have in traditional high school. They have worked with me when I was sick or had personal things going on in my life, like if I needed time off of class or work. Our instructor brought us on field trips to colleges and other places so we could get a hands-on learning experience. Coming out of GPS, I will have 2 years maintenance experience and will be MSSC certified, where regular high school kids don't have much time to work and have less working experience. The on-the-job achievement I am most proud of is learning how to run the whole wastewater room at ITU without being reminded what to do. My most challenging on-the-job achievement was probably having to control the water at ITU while my mentor was out on vacation. The water has to be very good as it is monitored by the city. If it wasn't for GPS, I probably wouldn't even be close to graduating or have 2 years of manufacturing under my belt. Having my own money to buy things instead of asking my parents is pretty nice too. Having 2 years of manufacturing and certifications from class looks good on a resume and gives me the upper hand on getting a job. I would like to thank all of my teachers for helping me throughout this 21 months and never giving up on me even when I wasn't always giving my 110%. I would especially like to thank my parents for allowing me to even go into this program knowing nothing about it. Lastly, I would like to thank Dave Dahl, the president of Allis Roller, for allowing us to use his company as a classroom and even supply us with some jobs. Thank you. Our next speaker is Sean Bradley.
Hi, I'm Sean Bradley from Waterford. I'm glad to finally be graduating from school. I joined GPS because I wanted to work and learn about machining, and what I gained was an understanding of the program format. I wanted to be a machinist before the GPS program, so this gives me a huge advantage. I would not be at the skill level I'm at now if I was attending regular high school. I'd be sitting in a classroom learning the same boring stuff from the previous year and not getting paid and just hating to go in every morning. Now it's different. I've got a company that depends on me to show up every day. I'm part of a team, and it helps me to be motivated to do better. The businesses that have partnered with GPS offer the students more opportunities and experience. It helped me to obtain more job skills and knowledge of the working environment. The businesses gave me hands-on experience and training. This helped me to learn and complete the jobs I was assigned. I was able to get help and gain information about a couple job experiences. This helped me decide what I'd like to do best. I liked working at businesses because it's hands-on experience, and it's a lot better than sitting in a classroom working on a computer all day. Since I was able to work and experience working in different businesses, it gave me experience that will make me different from other applicants. The fact that I've got 3 big companies on my resume, I was able to learn different jobs that make me more versatile than others that may be applying. I have at least 2 years of manufacturing experience right out of high school. I have a strong work ethics and recommendations from my previous jobs to back it up. I have learned and experienced a lot and still have more to learn. Thanks to GPS, I learned about machining, and now I know what I want to do with my life. I want a career in machining, and I am more confident in my skills thanks to my mentors. I know I can still learn a lot more, and they taught me what I know now, and I'm grateful for that. I appreciate that Xenar sees the skills I offered and has offered me a job after high school. Thank you. Our next speaker is Trace Bosman.
Good afternoon, my name is Trace Bosman. I went to Waterford Union High School, but within the 21 months in the GPS program, my view has changed greatly towards manufacturing. I have always thought that manufacturing process was pretty simple, with relatively the same things to do throughout. But now that I've joined GPS, I've realized there are many different career opportunities, varying from operator to CEO, and every job is attainable through hard work and perseverance. Because in the GPS program, your start doesn't determine your destination. The on-the-job achievement that I'm most proud of would be that I was able to learn everything quickly and finish jobs without many problems, especially when they would throw more than one job at me. But I am also proud of my ability to figure out and fix my own problems without having to seek help from my mentor, or anyone for that matter. I've learned a lot of important skills in the GPS program. I've learned many of the necessary skills to be in the field of manufacturing, and I have attained certifications in the field of manufacturing. And because of that, I've been given the opportunity to be ahead of many applicable people in my field of manufacturing. I would like to thank my instructors Nate and Trish for being a huge part in my success throughout the program, and I would also like to thank my mentor Dan for teaching me the skills necessary for working at Pindell Global. And I would like to also thank my parents for supporting me through these 21 months. Thank you. Our next speaker is Robert Fleece.
In the past 21 months at GPS, I have learned many new skills than I would have in traditional high school. Hello, my name is Robert Fleece and I went to Westosha Central High School. I gained a lot of new skills working in manufacturing since I started GPS in 2016. With these new skills, I've prepared myself to start a career in manufacturing after graduation. In my time at GPS, I worked for only one company, and that company was Eaton, South Milwaukee. I worked assembling Nova power switches and now assemble steel cabinets for pad mount boxes. Some lessons I have learned while in GPS, or while at Eaton, is just because you have a job interview doesn't always mean you have a job. It's how you present yourself during the interview that is a key factor. Another lesson is just because you have a job doesn't mean you're a good employee. That is worth keeping around long term and includes showing up on time and giving your 110% while on the job. This will help yourself be seen as an asset to the company as well. I've been at Eaton. I have had the opportunity to work at Department 04 assembling Nova power switches. And I did this for about 6 months until I moved to Department 06 building steel cabinets. After graduation, I'm hopeful to continue working at Eaton in either first or third shift. I will also continue working on our family farm, working with my parents. I'd like to thank all of the people who helped me make it all happen here at GPS. I would also like to thank Nate and Trish, who are our teachers at the Ed Center. I would also like to thank Dave Dahl for supporting the program and setting aside a room in his classroom, or a room in his building for a classroom. Thank you. Our next speaker is Tyler Gunther.
My name is Tyler Gunther and I'm from Muskego High School. In the 21 months that I was in GPS, I learned a lot more than I would have in a traditional high school. In GPS, I learned about being on time for work and interviews, that it's important to have a good attitude for stuff whether you want to do it or not. Traditional high school, I would not have learned those things. Traditional high schools taught core curriculum subjects, but GPS taught me how to be a good employee. At Zenar, I learned how to weld, how to do electrical work, some basics of CNC machining, assembly of gearboxes. Columbia Grinding, I learned how to run many different machines for grinding. Also learned some preventive maintenance tactics such as greasing and oiling of the machines. Learned that when I find something that I want to do, I'm very motivated to get the job done and to do a good job. Learn about being on time. Learn that the business world wants people that will be on time and have a good work ethic. After graduation, plan on continuing to work at Columbia Grinding. I will also be going to school to be a diesel mechanic. I would like to say thank you to Dave Dahl for sponsoring GPS, Adam and Kay at Columbia Grinding for the opportunity to learn and grow. Thank you. Our next speaker is Alex Paulus.
Come on, I got small legs. "21 months ago, I joined GPS hoping that the program would give me a better opportunity in life. Traditional high school just wasn't working for me. I started thinking if there was more options, so that's when I decided to talk with my counselor. After explaining my situation, she brought GPS to my attention. GPS has given me the opportunity to get some experience in the workforce. I've gotten to see what it looks like in the manufacturing setting, doing things such as assembly, electrical, inventory, CNC, custom building, and welding. These things I would not have gotten to learn in traditional high school. The most important things I've learned is not to fight back because you have to do something you don't want to. You are there to learn something and you can't get that experience if you don't do what you're told. Be respectful and responsible. If you don't have these skills, you won't get very far in life and everything will be difficult. I am different than other applicants because GPS has given me opportunities that kids in traditional high school don't get to experience that I do. Employers look for people that have past experience and can show that they do know something. Most companies want employees to know somewhat of what the job entitles instead of people that need to learn everything. Although companies will train to teach the processes, there won't be as much learning. I would like to thank my instructors Trish, Nate, and Kevin for making me who I am today. I would also like to thank all my mentors at Eaton, Zenar, and Zune. I would like to thank Dave Dahl for providing the classroom. If we didn't have this classroom, we wouldn't all be where we are today. Thank you. Our next speaker is Carson Kissinger. There you go, sweetheart.
Getting up in the morning and dreading getting up was an everyday battle for me until GPS was introduced to me. My name is Carson Kissinger from Waterford, and GPS has helped me in many ways in my 2 years of being here. Compared to traditional high school, GPS has really prepared me for a career. One of the things was preparing me for interviews to get the jobs that we have through GPS. We still have to do interviews just as anyone else. They help prepare you by doing mock interviews with you and as well as helping you put together and revising your resumes. Along the way with the GPS program, I have developed some new skills. One of the most valuable skills I've learned from my mentors and others I've worked with is how to work well with a team. And this is a valuable skill working in real world because everywhere you go, no matter if you like it or not, you're going to be working with a team. During my time in the GPS program, I've gained lots of experience and improved on things that I had already started in the program. What makes me different than other kids in high school is that I have worked in environments that has prepared me for careers and a better life. Another reason that makes me more eligible is that I have a good selection of work that I have done. These experiences will make me more desirable in the long run because it will mean possibly less training, and it shows that I am a reliable employee to those looking to hire me. Thanks to GPS, I now get out of bed and enjoy what I do every day. I would also like to thank all the companies that gave me that chance to develop new skills and interests, as well as improve on the skills I already had. Thank you. Our next speaker is Peyton Crutchman.
Hi, my name is Peyton Crutchman, and I previously attended Muskego High School before I started the GPS program. I've been in the GPS program for 21 months now, and I've learned so much more about what it takes to be a proficient worker and have gained many skills during my experience here. Throughout the program, I've had 3 job rotations. My first job started at Aptar in Naguanigo. I was there for about 6 months. For the first month, I was in quality control, sorting thousands of bottle caps all day long, then later started running machines. I was taught how to maintain and operate a bottle cap production press. I ran machines for about 2 months before they put me in maintenance. My maintenance supervisor, Manny, taught me everything I needed to know about anything from hydraulic pressure lines to performing daily maintenance checks. I stayed in maintenance until I moved to Rot Washer Manufacturing in South Milwaukee. At Rot Washer, they manufacture a wide variety of washers to companies all over the world. My rotations at Rot went from quality control to running machines. Toward the end of my time there, I started running a number of machines at the same time, which for me was a new concept and was fairly difficult. At my last job rotation was at Pindell Global Precision in the New Berlin Industrial Park. I started working there in September of 2017, and I will be there until I graduate. I started out in maintenance and learned a ton about CNC programming, daily maintenance, machine maintenance, and so much more. My mentor, Andre, taught me how to properly perform scheduled preventative maintenance procedures on almost every machine in both buildings. If I'm not helping Andre do whatever he wants me to do, I have something, or he tells me to do something that he doesn't have time to do. He tells me what I have to do and I get it done, and if I have any questions, he helps me out by explaining it in a different way. Andre is one of the most constructive mentors I've had at my time in GPS. He always finds a unique way to teach me new skills. I think the main reason I like Andre so much is because of his strong Slovakian accent and amazing sense of humor. Before GPS, I thought coming into work just a little late, doing minimal work, and trying to leave as fast as possible was the easiest and fastest way I was going to graduate. I learned that doing just enough work to get by was far from the best way to make it appear as if I had a sense of what was going on. Through my experience at GPS, I learned that the most efficient way to work is to do what is expected to the best of your ability and use your time in a way that is useful to not only yourself but other people around you. I would like to thank some people who helped me tremendously get me where I am right now. I wouldn't have been able to do any of this without the help and guidance of my instructors, family, and friends. Trish, Nate, Kevin, and Conley, thank you all for all you have done for me to ensure success and growth after high school and going into the real world. I would like to thank my mom and dad for their support and guidance as well. No matter what happens, I know they will always be there for me when I need them. Thank you for your time. Our next speaker is Chris McKay.
Hello, my name is Chris McKay. I went to Muskego High School, and in the 21 months I went to GPS, I learned a lot. I learned the importance of being on time and showing up every day, along with the importance of working hard. I also learned how to act in a manufacturing setting. These are just some of the qualities that I will take with me for the rest of my life. I'd like to thank all my teachers, Kevin McKenna, Trish Muniz, and Nate Jansky for working with me on schoolwork and making sure I graduate. We had our ups and downs, but they always helped me to finish my schoolwork. I think where I was before GPS and where I am now, and I think I've grown not just as a student or as a worker, but as a person. My first job placement was as a GPS apprentice was in Eaton. It was a good experience where I learned the basics of working in a manufacturing field and how to act in an office setting. Most of all, I learned that having a job in a way will teach me responsibility and to take advice from others and accept my mistakes and push myself not to make the same mistakes twice. My second and current job placement is at Nordco. I learned the most at Nordco about being a proficient manufacturing employee and working for something you want. I work on the test track where I test the machines before they get shipped out to the customer and make sure everything put on the machine is correct. In the last 8 months of working at Nordco, I've had my ups and downs. One of my biggest achievements was when I was able to test a machine on my own and troubleshoot some problems by myself. On the other hand, I've had some challenges as well. For example, I derailed a machine and had to have the crane pick it up and set it back on the tracks. I didn't expect or know what to do if it did happen, but I handled myself accordingly. I would like to thank Ray and Jeff for working with me and helping me learn how to be a good test track employee. I would also like to thank Dennis for paving the way for me at Nordco and along with giving me rides home. I learned a lot in the last 21 months of being in GPS, and I'll take the lessons with me for the rest of my life. Thank you. Our next speaker is Troy Wolfson.
Is everyone having a good time? Manufacturing. Field of work I never thought I'd be working in today. However, through GPS, I've learned many things about it. Hi, I'm Troy Wolfson.
Troy, can you put the mic up? There you go. Thank you.
A student out of Waterford Union High School. I'm going to tell you about my high school experience and what GPS did for me. The instructors here at GPS have enhanced my experience by being very helpful and supportive. Oh no. If I ever had questions on anything or struggled with things, they would help me out until I understood, unlike at normal high schools. A huge difference in learning in the workforce and business environment is that in the workforce, people don't sugarcoat things, and you're obtaining knowledge from people that are in the real world. It teaches you how to get your act together and to do some work. I had always been interested in carpentry, and when I got into the job place, I started doing it, and there were a lot of things that I did not know and made me interested in it even more. My mentors helped me by preparing me for my career by teaching me tips and tricks for different jobs and other skills. Some things that I never knew existed and different mindsets about processes that I would never have thought of before were exposed to me. The most important thing that I've learned from the business world is that hard work pays off. If you stay dedicated, responsible, and hardworking for a company, you will find your way to success. Learn from GPS that a hard day at work is wanted by every employer, and being responsible goes a long way. If there's a job opening and there are two people applying for the job, one being responsible and on time every day versus someone with a bad attendance record and irresponsible. The employer will pick the responsible, on-time person every time. So to be on time every day is something I will always keep in mind. GPS was an investment in myself because I learned a lot about life from coworkers, and I also learned the value of a hard day at work. After GPS, I plan on attending University of Wisconsin-Parkside in the fall of 2018. I would like to thank my parents for being so supportive of me, Allis Roller and LDV for being great companies to work for, and Allis Roller for housing our classroom, and every mentor that helped me along the way. Thank you, GPS. Our next speaker is Zachary Smart.
Thanks. All right, so why did we leave the high school? Why did we pick GPS instead of a boring classroom? Hi, my name is Zach Smart. I'm from Muskego High. I'm thankful for the GPS program because without it, I wouldn't be as far ahead in life as if I would be if I stayed in the high school. With the GPS program, I have 2 job recommendations and multiple certifications. When I first started in GPS, I thought of it as just a way to get out of the high school. But that changed when I started working at ZNR. The GPS program brought a whole new meaning because you get to work and you get on-the-job training. During my rotation at ZNR, I learned fabrication, electrical, assembly, and shipping. Most of the skills I learned at ZNR I was able to reuse on my first rotation at National Tech. Now that my GPS career is coming to an end, I lost my spot. I look back and I realize that everything I learned from ZNR Corp and National Tech I can use in future jobs. I'm leaving GPS with 4 certifications, 2 recommendations, and 2 years of on-the-job experience. I was able to create a great relationship with my mentors. They helped me and pushed me to get my work done and let me know the right way to do things. They were always there to push me to succeed. I remember them always saying that you can have the highest production out of everyone in the shop, but if there are bad parts, they're meaningless. When I first started GPS, all I wanted to do was become a welder or a diesel mechanic. After I left my first rotation at ZNR and started at National Tech, I realized I'm not really into welding. I also realized that becoming a diesel tech isn't the best for me either. I found that I truly enjoy being a CNC operator at National Tech. Just knowing that there's a future for CNC operators and there's a huge need for them changed my decision from a welder or diesel tech to a CNC operator. I'd like to thank Dave Dahl for letting us use the classroom at Allis Roller. And I'd also like to thank my mentors Dave DeCordo, Tim Cole, Gary Hansen, and Mike Jasinski, and my instructors Trish and Nate for teaching me everything I needed to learn during my time at GPS. I'm excited about the next chapter in my life. Thank you. And our final speaker this afternoon is Vince Kaluzny.
If I loop it at you, it would be faster.
What's that?
If I loop it at you, it would be faster.
Good afternoon. My name is Vince Kaluzny. Almost got on the right page. Good afternoon. My name is Vince Kaluzny. I'm from Waterford Union High School. I started GPS because my sophomore year, one of my buddies had joined. When he had told me what GPS was about, I was in. I mean, who wouldn't want to earn money, learn new skills, and get a high school diploma? My instructor Nathan Jansky and Trish Munoz have enhanced my GPS experience because every time I have a question, they have an answer. I started GPS in September of 2016 and I have not had a problem going to school since. I have learned many things from GPS due to what I learned in class as well as working. The biggest things learned in class is interview skills because without these, how do you plan on getting a job? We have had mock interviews which helped us with people giving us pointers on what to put on our resumes and tips on what to say to stand out in interviews. In class, we also had to do MSSC, which stands for Manufacturing Skills Standard Council. By doing this, I am now a certified production technician. This shows that I am able to be safe in the workplace, develop quality parts, and make sure they are to spec. I know how to do the procedures to many different things, such as running manual mills, working with chemicals, and so on. I am also able to show proper maintenance skills on equipment in factories. Started at ZNR my junior year, which is my first real job. Everything before that was side jobs and farm work. When I started at ZNR, I was put in fabrication, which was awesome, because building something from scratch is cool. There I had learned to do a lot better at welding by my lead man Tim. He was always giving me pointers and showing me different types of welding. He showed me how to suck metal, basically suck metal to keep it square when you're attacking it. After my rotation in fabrication, I went to the bridge floor. All I'd done there was buff rusty channels. After bridge floor, I went to the assembly where I learned how to assemble gearboxes used for cranes. I worked in the machine shop where I learned how to program CNC machines. Then I had gone to electrical where I learned how to read electrical blueprints to a point. My lead man Justin had taught me how to wire to the terminal boxes and all sorts of things in electrical, like wiring lights and making Vestoons and much more. After all that, it was time for me to get a new job because it was time for all of us students to get new jobs with our rotations. I must have done something right because ZNR had asked me to stay. I accepted the offer because ZNR is a nice place to work, many friendly guys, and most of them were willing to teach me new things I did not know. I had stayed in electrical for another 6 months until it was time for me to get another job. ZNR had asked me to stay again. I accepted the offer but had requested to be put in maintenance. They do not offer that for us students, but Torsen, our plant manager, said we could work something out. For my senior year, I have been in maintenance. Let me tell you, maintenance is where it's at. You get to fix things all day, and I have learned a lot while working with my lead men. Even stuff not related to our equipment at ZNR, but with vehicles as well. Through my journey at GPS, I have learned a lot of cool things working at ZNR, many things I will be able to take with me for the rest of my life. After graduation, I'm going to continue working at ZNR, and have also been accepted into MATC, and will be starting their lineman program in the fall. I would like to thank Dave Dole for giving us a place to go to class and supporting GPS as much as he does. And I would like to thank all my lead men that have taught me new skills I will bring with me in life. Knowledge is power no matter what life it is. Thank you.
All right. Another round of applause for our seniors. That was pretty awesome. I mean, that's kind of a hard deal. If you stand up at any point in time and just look that way, you'll understand the magnitude of the room and how much weight that can carry. Every single student, when we first propose, hey, you gotta do a speech, we ain't doing that. And we always say you're going to be just fine. And you guys, you did an excellent job. So I'm really proud of you. And nice job. And the stories inside of them are awesome. And it goes to show that every person in this room truly has had a major impact on the students that are graduating. So kudos to you guys as well. So as most of you know, I'm Trish Munoz. I'm the Career and Technical Educator, Coordinator, Apprenticeship individual for the Franklin classroom here. Our next step in the program is we have a couple of awards that we'd like to give out to a couple of our students in the program. And our first set of awards are our Student Merit Awards. These are awarded to students that have continually shown excellence not only inside the workplace but also in the classroom, and has shown a continuous commitment to pursuing higher education at some point, and then also within their own skill development at their companies and inside the classroom. So our first merit award that we'd like to give out this afternoon goes to Zachary Klabundi. So if you can please come. Zach is a little bit of a different case for me. We had an education center that I worked with down at Lake Geneva, and Zach came with me from the Lake Geneva Education Center up to here. So I've had a chance to work directly with Zach for the last 21 months of the program. And let me tell you, this is a young man that any time I needed something as a student for GPS, for an event, to be a speaker or a to represent GPS, I could call on this young man and he would show up every single time and speak just as eloquently as he did today with a rehearsed, written out speech. He would do the same in impromptu. And he has done this multiple times, including a trip down to Chicago one day with us to speak in front of a group. And he's also shown his commitment inside of his work placement at each of his companies and wanting to learn more and dive in more into the world of being a maintenance tech. So his true commitment to education inside of the classroom and outside has been extraordinarily, and I commend you. Thank you. All right. And our other merit award is going to go to the young man, Vince Kaluzny. I always say that kind of wrong. Come on up, Vince. I always say Vince is like my 40-year-old student because I always feel like I'm talking to a peer when I talk to Vince. His time in the program from the get-go, he's kind of had a chance to kind of stand out. You know, working at Zenar his entire time, we just had his final review yesterday at Zenar, and the wonderful things they are able to speak about him were great to hear because we not only see that from him at the work site, but we also see the same, focus on wanting to achieve inside of the classroom as well. And so watching Vince grow over the time has been really great, and really seeing somebody of your maturity and caliber going on is going to be something awesome to look forward to watching.
Thank you.
So thank you. Also at this point, inside the speeches, you might have heard students talk about some MSSC certifications. And a lot of our students have taken 4 certifications, which is a safety, a quality, a processes, and a maintenance. If the students take that and they pass all 4 of them, they become what's called CPT, which is a Certified Production Technician. This is a national certification that they'll be able to put on their resume and use throughout their time, whether they stay here in Wisconsin or go out of state. So it's a very valuable additional certification that a lot of our students work very hard at. So at this time, for our seniors that are CPT, or you will be by the time you graduate because you have 1 test left, go ahead and take a stand. So my CPT students. And if you look around the room, that's pretty much all of them. So a round of applause to you guys and becoming certified production technicians. That is awesome. All right. Okay. And then we have one other set of awards that I'd like to kind of give out here. These are our attendance award. And I like how in the speeches you really hear students lock onto, those important key areas that employers want from their employees. And almost, a good majority of the students at some point said a reliable employee, one that shows up and is on time. So I'm just excited that we got that point across throughout their 21 months. And some of those students have gone above and beyond and shown exceedingly high attendance levels inside the classroom that we would like to recognize as well. So for our attendance award students, I would like Robert Fleece, Carson Kissinger, and Zachary Smart to come on up. Thank you very much, sir. Congratulations. Congratulations. All right, yes, that is an achievement.
Go to the next slide.
All right. That kind of leads us to our next step here. As you were walking in to our room here, you kind of walked past our palette projects of 2018. This is a project that our students undertook starting back in early April. And what the students were kind of tasked with, they were each given a set of palettes donated by local manufacturing companies inside this business park. Some of them had to drive around and ask for them. And they had to take those pallets, tear them apart, blueprint what they wanted to create out of them, do research, find an organization they wanted to have their funds donated to, and they had to build something. This is part of their Contributing Citizen Capstone project that is part of the GPS curriculum that kind of helps students see more than just the world around them, but in a broader scope. So with this project, the students had to choose a charity of their choice to have their funds donated. So today, after the luncheon closes, there will be a live silent auction that you can go on to, and I'll show you the link on the handout and on the screen. And each of these items will be up for auction. Each group has chosen a different charity to have the funds donated to. So during your time today, please take the time to look at them. Students have put a lot of hard work into them, creating a design that they felt would be marketable. And you can kind of see inside our pictures that process that they had to go through. So they had to work as teams in each of these to figure out what it is they had to build and what would people want and why would that be valuable to them. So if you get a chance, take a look. If you have any questions, feel free to speak to any of the students that are here about their projects, and they'll be able to give you a little bit more detail. But I'm very excited that they were able to get these done and have them ready to present for you guys today. And this will just be another way for them to leave their stamp on their time here at GPS. So you can click on this. And then you can click on the blue there. Oh, that's fine. I'll put it up quick. All right, before we leave, I would like to introduce our president of GPS to come on up to say a couple of words before we head out.
I'm not sure I need the microphone, but well, yeah, I probably don't. So, well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I have to say, and my staff hears me say this every single time we go through this is my absolute favorite part of the year, when I have an opportunity to sit in back with the students and listen to the students and that transformation that they have gone through. And parents, did you just get a little puffier today? I mean, you should be very proud of your students, obviously proud of the work that they've done. This wasn't easy, right? GPS is not easy. It's not the easiest route. It's not the easiest path, but it is the most transformational. And so thank you for putting your leap of faith inside GPS, the wonderful instructors and staff, obviously business partners and school districts, obviously, all of you have put your faith in us and in the work that we do every day. And the students, I think you heard, wow, that really has made an impact. And obviously school districts, I mean, wouldn't you want every single one of your students to stand up at 18 and say the kinds of things, this changed my life. This is now I know what I need to do, hard work, need to be reliable. Now I know the type of person I want to be. Oh, and by the way, I also know the career I want, and I have a plan for what I'm going to do next. That's our goal, right, as educators, and obviously as parents too. We don't want them sitting on the couch, at the end of the day. And obviously business partners too. When you hear the students that you have mentored and that you have worked with, talk about hard work and the work ethic, reliability, dependability. Aren't those the core skills that we all want? And not only have they learned them, but they now have the other work skills and career skills that you need within your businesses. So this is the power of work-based learning. This is when we come together as a community. This is the community that's coming together to make the most impact. And this is the power that it has. And so this community, I can't wait to see what we do next. There is so much more potential. I mean, this organization started in 2000 with 5 students. We've graduated hundreds of students now, and in this Franklin community, thanks to Dave Dahlin and all of Allis Roller and all of the businesses in this community, we can do more with more businesses. We can impact more students in different ways, and we're going to talk more about that as we go. So parents, certainly continue to spread that word. Thank you for your confidence, and the next parents need to hear more about that as well. So thank you again for everything that you've done and continue to do with and for GPS. And we so look forward to the juniors that you see in back. That's the next group, and obviously the new juniors that are going to be coming in very, very soon, right? We've got the next group that's going to be coming in as well. That's the legacy, and we look forward to what's coming next as well. As far as the meetings that are going to go on after this, we do have a partner meeting that we're going right into. That will be in here, and we'll start that at 1:30 sharp. So please, talk to the students a little bit, take the next few minutes to do that, and then we'll be reconvening here for the meeting after that as well. Anything else that you wanted? Okay, the bidding is still going on. We expect everybody big bidding, right? Do you want one?
Yeah,
One more thing.
Yeah. All right. So for parents and students, since we do have the partner meeting happening afterward, the space where the palette projects are located is available for pictures. I would like to have the students stay after, because I need pictures of you with your group next to your palette project if you have one before you leave. But please feel free to take your time to mingle and talk and whatnot, and we can definitely hold a lot of that out there. And the auction will go live at 2 o'clock.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Bid often.
Thank you all for coming.